One more thing. Like I said before, I want to have an API, and I'm using Flask-Restful for that, or I'm going to use it for that. So let's go ahead and add that in. So in the app folder, I will create a new folder called API, and this will be a module, as I'm going to stick a dunder init py file in there. I'm also going to create a file called profile. And in here, I will, from Flask-Restful, import a resource. Now, a resource is going to be subclassed into a profile resource. And this is what will handle the actual requests. So in the class, I can override a method for each of the HTTP methods, get, post, put, delete, and so on. Just to make sure everything's working, I'm just going to use get, and I'm going to return a dictionary that will automatically be converted into JSON for me. And I'll just say resource, or rather profile resource. All right, so now whenever a request comes into this for this resource, a GET request, it will simply return the JSON that corresponds to this dictionary here. And I just realized that I put that in the wrong place. So now what I need to do to get this into the application itself, I need to go back over to init.py from.api.profile import profile resource. Before I can add this I can't add this directly to the app. Instead, what I have to do is I have to add that to an API that's created from Flask-Restful. So from Restful import API. And like many extensions, this API is simply going to take a Flask app, and then I can come down here and say API.add a resource. But before I do that, I'm going to add a URL prefix. I believe, isn't that it? Or is it just prefix? Oh, it's just prefix. And I'll just call that /API. So now anything that that begins with /API will be routed to the API, and then to a particular resource. I want the profile resource. I want to add the profile resource with a prefix of profiles. So now anything that comes to /API/profiles will be sent to the profile resource, which is right here. If it's a GET request, it'll return some JSON like you see here, and anything else will get a 405 because it's not supported yet. Okay, and I believe that is everything that I need. Actually, it's already running. So if I go over here, I'm going to use this extension from Visual Studio Code called REST Client. And all I need to do is create a new file, and I'm going to save it as, save it in the root as requests.http. And I'm going to write up here, I'm going to say I want to make a GET request to http localhost 5000 /API/profiles. And notice that it's put this send request link up here. And if I click that and everything works, there we go. Profile resource. And like I said before, let's say that I want to try to do a post request. So if I separate it with 3 hashtags, and I'll attempt to make a post request to the same endpoint. And notice it'll give me a new send request link. And then if I click that link, and I get a 405. Okay, so that's all working. So I'll go ahead and say API and profiles. I don't think I've got anything in here that I don't want to commit. Oh, yes, I do. I need to actually add to my Git. Yeah, I need to add my PyCache and VS Code. So I need to add dunder PyCache and .VS Code. Okay, now if I go back over here and API and profiles and commit that. Yes. All right. In the next video, we should be able to look at how to set this up to deploy to Azure.